Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ifeoma Odolami. I am an immigration attorney with the Odolami Law Firm in New Jersey. My law firm represents clients all over the 50 states of the United States. So I'm dashing in real quick here just to talk a little about our expectations for the new year. It's a new year. We have a new president, so that gives us a lot of hope. And I want to talk about hope, because a lot of intending immigrants are filled with fear. They're worried about their papers. Let me just adjust this a little. They're worried about their papers. They're worried about how long it's taken. And it always takes a while, especially because of coronavirus. Even before coronavirus, it would always take a while. So I am an immigrant. I came to the United States in, I think it was 1989, and I went through a lot of the issues, a lot of the fears you guys are going through. So I understand it. And I want to give you the hope I want you to realize that the fear you feel is, I guess it's normal to an extent because we all worry. But I want you to know that if you do what you're supposed to do, right, and you do it the right way, it will be okay. Even if it's crazy, even if things are not going the way it's supposed to go. So I came to the United States. I was able to bring my siblings. I have 4 siblings. They came over here as well. I filed for my mother, so I understand exactly how you people feel, my clients. I remember when I was here in the United States, I was so lonely when I was here. I was here alone by myself. I was homesick. I missed my family, There's nothing, you have friends, but family is different. And then I was able to arrange for my sister to come over, my brother to come over, and all of them now have their papers, So it can happen. I want to even draw your attention to that Jamaican. I'm sorry, I keep doing this because this is a new stand and it keeps slipping. The Jamaican couple that had to take refuge in court in church, and finally the USCIS has decided to drop the deportation. It happens, So I just want you to know this is a new year, right? We have a new administration that's promising us that they're going to be fair with immigration. So you have to do your own part, which is don't get legal immigration advice from people who are not lawyers, because a lot of my clients come in here and they've messed up their files and they hire me to fix it. It will be so much easier if you get a lawyer to do it the first time around, and your lawyer will advise you as to what to do and what things would be a problem in your file. So really, it's important for you to do the right thing. Get legal advice from a lawyer. Hire a lawyer to work on your case, okay? So I want to tell you this funny story. I remember when I was working in this office, and there was the USCIS office it was maybe a block or so from where I was working. This is how afraid I was. I wouldn't even look at the office when I was crossing the road. I was afraid they were going to come and get me. So I've been where you are, and now I'm a US citizen. So it will happen to you too. And that's why this is my passion. My passion is helping intending immigrants, making sure that they're doing the right things and that we can get their papers filed so that they can get their green cards and become US citizens who can vote and take and also, make decisions that will impact their family. So today, what I want to talk about is VAWA. I just want to give an overview because in the later days, I'm going to go into it in detail. And I talk about VAWA a lot because that sense of powerlessness, that fear that immigrants have is 10 times greater in people who are being abused, So for me, it's so important for them to understand that they have power, right? I want them to know exactly what they need to be doing. I want them to know exactly what they should be looking for, what documents to be putting together, so that when they come to my office, we can get that petition filed right away. And I want them to also know that sometimes when there's a problem in a case, it doesn't mean that the case won't be approved. It just means that we have to try something different. So VAWA petitions, what are the requirements? There are three main requirements for you to be able to file a VAWA petition. Like I've said to you before, to file a VAWA petition, you need to be married. Well, you need to be married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you're the spouse of a child who's been abused by a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you're the parent of a U.S. citizen who's over 21. And the underlying pinning in all of this is that you have to show abuse, of course, right? So we're going to get to abuse later, but I want to talk about the other things that you need to show in a VAWA case. You need to show, for a spousal relationship, you need to show a bona fide marriage. That is so important. And a lot of my clients, because of the nature of the abuse, the abuser will hide the documents, wouldn't give them information, wouldn't allow them to, wouldn't get a joint account with them, wouldn't put their names on documents, so basically making it harder for them to prove a bona fide marriage. But that will not stop you from filing VAWA, because there are other ways to prove a bona fide marriage. I've had my clients send me text messages between them and their spouse, even if it's just text messages that are very, just rudimentary information, I've had them get me pictures of them with family members, in vacations, many other things. You don't have to. The fact that you're not able to show commingling of assets will not defeat your VAWA case, right? Another thing is you have to live with your spouse if you're filing a spousal petition based on a marriage. Now, the rules don't say how long you have to be married, but you must have lived with them at some point. So, and you have to prove that you've lived with them at some point. So, for a lot of us attorneys, the thrill of VAWA, it's almost like an investigation. You're trying to piece evidence. Getting information from unlikely sources, because sometimes, because of the nature of the abuse, our clients may not have the information that we need. So you have to prove a bona fide marriage. And what is a bona fide marriage? It's a marriage that was entered into for real, which is you didn't enter into it for a transactional purpose to get immigration benefits only, okay? Then you have to prove the abuse. And I'm going to go over this, abuse can be, PSC, I'm going to go through this and then I'll come back to look through the comments to see if anybody has any questions for me. So abuse can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be financial, it can be psychological, it can be verbal. So it doesn't have to be just physical. So I'll give an example. If your spouse is embarrassing you in front of people, calling you names, threatening you with calling ICE. And it can be sexual. It doesn't have to be rape. It could be calling you sexual names, a whore, or a community, some of my clients have said that the spouses call them a community penis, or mocking the way, their sexuality. Oh, you think you're pretty, but you're really ugly. You're mocking parts of their anatomy. This is too big. This is too small. You don't do it well. You don't do it right. There are better people out there, or forcing you to engage in sexual behavior that you don't want to, or telling you that you don't have a choice with regards to getting into sexual intimacy with them. So that's all part of sexual abuse, right? So I always tell my clients, right, you really want to talk to, schedule a consultation, because a lot of times I find that my clients don't even know that what they're going through is abuse. So I generally just ask them, is it a bad marriage? Are you is your spouse being cruel to you? And then we go into it and we dissect it, and we're able to show them that this is not normal behavior. This is behavior that's considered by USCIS to be abusive. Hi, Laverne, how are you? Laren is asking, is there any updates on the ban that Trump extended? Not yet. There's no updates on that yet, but hopefully we're hoping that Biden administration will handle that on day one. That's what he promised us, so we're going to hold him to it. So we need to show proof of abuse, and I mean the list is exhaustive. I've heard it all, really. I mean, there are many ways that a spouse can abuse another spouse. Financial, forcing you to work so that they stop working because they feel that you owe them, or refusing to file papers for you and making you work without papers. That's another way that abuse can be financial. Taking money from you, refusing to go to an interview unless you give them money. It can also be verbal, mocking things about you that you've told them in private, calling you names, embarrassing you in front of people, control, destroying things that belong to you, hiding your documents, just basically just trying to let you know that they are in control, that's abuse. So if you are not sure if you're in an abusive relationship, or you're not sure that it could be termed abusive, call my office. Let's have a consultation with you and talk about it with you. Another thing that you have to prove in a VAWA case is you have to prove that you're a person of good moral character. So that's really important because, USCIS does not want to have people in the country who are felons or who have committed serious crimes. Now, if you've committed some crime, it doesn't mean that you cannot file for VAWA. What we do is we have to figure out what type of a crime it is and see if it's we can ask for forgiveness. It's called a waiver. So basically, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you have a child who's a U.S. citizen and the child is over 21, or you have a child who's been abused by your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, you want to contact my office. Let's talk about it and figure out if we can get your green card through this qualification through VAWA. VAWA is very permissive in the sense that it allows you to get your green card even though you might not qualify in other aspects. For instance, you come in through the border without a visa. If your spouse were to apply for you, you would have to leave the country because you'd have to consular process. However, under VAWA, you're not punished for that. You can adjust your status and get your green card without having to leave the country. And so there are lots of benefits of VAWA. And this new year, I want you guys to take your lives in your hands. If you are in a bad relationship, file VAWA. Don't be afraid. I know that fear, by the nature of abuse, right? Fear is something that's a part of abuse victims. But you have to think that VAWA will allow you to file without your spouse or your child being aware of it. So this is a gift. This is an opportunity for you to get your life back, okay? To take away this power that this abuser has over you. And we're going to help you do it. So if you need help with filing your petition, call my office, 973-993-1900. My name is Ifeoma Odolami. I am an immigration attorney and I have clients all over the 50 states. I'll be back with you guys another time, okay? Take care.